Were you, or do you know someone who's been the victim of a teen pregnancy or STI? Were you, or do you know someone who was the product of a teen pregnancy or STI? Now think long and hard about the hardships that person went through. Now think back to when you were in high school. What kind of sex ed were you taught? Usually, the answer is abstinence only until marriage. But did that stop you or your friends from doing it? Teenagers need to be taught how to protect themselves and not just being told no. What teenager do you know that didn't rebel at any point and do what they were told not to? I've maybe met one in my entire life. Teen pregnancy and STIs are more of a fad now rather than something that's frowned upon, and STI rates are higher than ever. Not only was I brought up in a conservative community that proved to me that abstinence only doesn't work, but I have studies to back me up. I'm going to tell you about why abstinence only sex ed is less effective than comprehensive, what the consequences are for not teaching comprehensive sex ed, and what the benefits of doing so are. I went to a high school where every time you turn around, someone else was pregnant, or someone got an STD from so-and-so, and not only that, but my high school had the highest teen pregnancy rate per capita in the U.S., and our rivals the next town over had the highest STI rate in the state of Texas. Myself and my friends would take the abstinence-only pledge every year, but it would never last more than a couple of months. We would mean it at the time, but there was so much going on in our lives, constant changes, emotions and hormones on high alert. We couldn't even remember what we learned in history class last week, much less a promise that was sold to us like a new pair of shoes. What we did remember were the things that actually sparked our interest. My parents taught myself and my friends comprehensive sex ed, including condom use and the consequences of STIs. And my group of friends made it all the way through high school without a pregnancy scare or an STD. There are consequences for every choice we make in life. The consequences for not teaching teenagers comprehensive sex ed may not directly affect you or me, but it does have a major impact on the young adults in our nation and our society. America is the only developed country that has federal funding promoting abstinence-only sex ed, whereas in Europe, they actually promote comprehensive. The numbers are unbelievable. Honesty is the best policy, sexual education, and accuracy states American teen pregnancy rates range from 4 to 11 times higher than that in German, French, and Dutch countries, and twice as high in Canada and Great Britain, and 4 times higher than Sweden. In 2000, there was an estimate of 18.9 million new cases of STIs among Americans, and half of them were teenagers and young adults. The recent estimates indicate that the economic burden of approximately 9 million new cases of STIs among 15 to 24-year-olds are $6.6 billion. I don't know about you, but I feel like my hard dollars could be used elsewhere if kids were just taught to protect themselves. $6.6 billion is a lot of money. We could all reap the benefits of comprehensive sex education, not just teenagers. The research proves that comprehensive is more effective. Emerging Answers 2007, research findings on programs to reduce teen pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases, conducted by Douglas Kurt, PhD, was a meta-evaluation that reviewed several other studies that have been conducted and the effectiveness of both abstinence-only until marriage and comprehensive sexuality education to draw broader conclusions to identify trends. The study found that 2/3 of the comprehensive programs examined had at least one positive sexual behavioral effect. 40% of the comprehensive sexual education programs achieved 3 of the most important aspects prohibition of sexual intercourse, reducing the number of sexual partners, and increasing condom use and contraceptive use. Comprehensive sex ed is just as so comprehensive, meaning not only does it teach abstinence is the only 100% protection, but if you choose to not be abstinent, then at least be safe about it. We all have our own opinions, morals, and views on sexual education, but our nation's youth shouldn't suffer from our differences. I've told you about how my own experience has showed that abstinence-only sex ed really doesn't work. I've compared our nation's way of teaching teens to other countries with better outcomes and benefits of comprehensive sex ed. Teenagers need to be taught how to protect themselves because they're getting to the age where you can't always be there to do it for them. So I'm not saying not to teach abstinence, but give your child a fighting chance to protect themselves from becoming another statistic.